Hey there, are you grieving the potential loss of a loved one or feeling overwhelmed with the loss of someone you care about? If so, you're in the right place. Lisa Hartung here, and this podcast is designed to guide you through topics surrounding death and dying. We'll dive into multifaceted aspects of grief, offering you a blend of personal stories, expert insights, and practical advice for your grief journey. May this be a safe space for you to learn, listen, and ask questions about your own life and loved ones. So grab your favorite beverage and let's dive in.
So it's a late night. I'm packing alone for a trip, and all I want to do is call my mom. So, friends, welcome back to another episode of Giving Grief Grace. I wanted to share with you one, I've really been struggling with packing and leaving my family for 2 weeks, and I've been really missing my mom. I wanted to share for listeners, maybe you just lost your mom, or maybe your mom has been gone for 3 or 5 or decades. Um, but I just wanted to share with you some things that maybe don't get talked about as much. And maybe you feel, the stress, or maybe when you feel stressed, you miss your mom too. And that's normally when I would have called her and said, "Hey, mom, like, help me work through this problem. I'm a verbal processor." And so that's something that was just always great about her. She's like, "Yeah, honey, let's chat. Let's walk through that." So like things people don't tell you when you lose your mom is, grief doesn't shrink. You just grow and expand your love, and you grow as a person, and and that's okay. Sometimes it can feel like you've left her behind, but bring her with you. Bring her with you into how you're growing. And she's here with you in the milestones. But we talk about healing, and oftentimes that's healing our grief in the instant, immediate space. But we're always learning how to live with grief. Grief and love coincide. Grief is the shadow side of love. And so, um, we just learn to expand and grow. Another thing that is important to recognize is that grief comes in waves, and sometimes things will be fine, and then, for instance, maybe you are walking downtown and you see the sidewalk, and the sidewalk is clean, and then all of a sudden there is a little purple Johnny jump up that has poked through the cracks of the sidewalk, and it's so bright and joyful in an otherwise plain sidewalk, and you just burst into tears because your mom loved Johnny jump ups. I remember as a kid walking downtown with my mom and seeing the Johnny jump ups. And you never know when there is going to be a trigger, and it's okay. And when that trigger happens, let your emotions flow. It's okay to cry. And if you don't feel comfortable crying in public, you can put your sunglasses on. You can go to your car, or you can go to a quiet place, or maybe face a wall if there's no quiet place to go, or do something that brings you joy. But it's something that grief comes when you least expect it as well. I always know I'm going to grieve my mom in some way when I get stressed, because she's not here to call. And also, you can miss someone and still be fully alive and feel joy, and feel that we call unbridled joy. She would want that for you. She wouldn't want you being sad all the time. She wouldn't want you laying in bed, and she wouldn't want you not to call your siblings or not to call your dad. She would want you to go out with your friends, and she would want to cuddle your baby. She would want to sing to your baby. She'd want you to have that extra glass of wine with a girlfriend. So, yes, you can miss her a lot. Um, and that's okay. But you can also be fully alive and have her with you and bring her with you to that time. When I say bring her with you, I mean literally and physically, figuratively and literally. Um, so I always I always hosted girls' weeks, and mom would come down to North Carolina. We'd go out to the beach. My mother-in-law would come, her friends would come, one of my mom's girlfriends would come, my sister-in-laws would come, and it was just a fun week where we'd let our hair down, we would walk along the beach, we'd have a fancy beverage in the afternoon. We would just have really good conversation about different generations of womanhood and how we're showing up for one another. And it was just such a vibrant time for us all to be together. And quite honestly, I've really struggled with even thinking about hosting another girls' week without my mom. And I know that in order to continue my grief journey, another girls' week is in store. And I keep talking about that. And so know that it is coming. You just have to be emotionally and physically ready for it. And that's something that takes time, and that's okay. It's okay to take time. Grief is not on a timeline. And so don't feel like, oh, my mom's been gone for 90 days. I should be fine and I should be back at work and fully functioning. No, grief is on your own timeline. And you were the only one that had a special relationship with your mom. No one else had that relationship. Everyone else's relationship is going to be a little different. And that's okay too. When I talk about bringing her with me, I have this little vial of her ashes, and they're in my purse, and I bring them everywhere with me. I am traveling out of the country, and every time I do that, I get a little nervous that someone might find my mom and I might get in trouble. And then when I think of that, I literally hear my mom, and she's like, well, like with a little smirk on her face and being like, well, no well-behaved woman ever made history. And so, like, yeah, mom, but I don't want to be in jail in a foreign country when I'm still breastfeeding, or wishing I was breastfeeding. So, anyway, I bring her with me physically. And if I find that there's a really great place that resonates with me, then I sprinkle her ashes. I take a picture of the place so that I can geocache the location. And if I ever wanted to do like a where in the world is Emily, that's my mom's name, I could use those photos and I could find out all of the different places that I placed her. And how cool is that? I bring her with me wherever I go. And I know that you can do that too. And if you don't have her ashes, maybe you have a little piece of memorabilia of her. I asked my mom, I'm again really missing her. And I said, Mom, I really need a sign that you're with me today. So I am unpacking these work bags that I had for a co-working session. And I'm like undoing all the zippers, making sure I got all the pens out and everything. And then I turn the bag upside down, and out comes a heart rock. I kid you not. So we had these little heart rocks at her funeral or her celebration of life, and they're beautiful, polished little like quartz heart rocks or heart quartz rocks. And one popped out, and I was like, I don't even remember putting that in there. But hi, mom. Like, thanks so much for showing up. It just brightened my day. When I say like bring her with you, yeah, bring her with you. Like, she's going to show up for you when you're ready and willing and open to accept that and let her in. And it's okay to miss her. Sometimes when life is really good, you're going to miss her more. My kids, and maybe you do the same. I'm in the final days of breastfeeding my son because I'm going on this trip and he might not want to breastfeed when I get back after 2 weeks. And these are just such cherished moments that I think about my mom and how she breastfed us. And I just want to ask her, like, what were your feelings about it? Because everyone has, you either love it, you hate it, or maybe, very mixed emotions about breastfeeding. And so interested to hear your perspective on it. So know that it's okay to miss her, and know that it's okay to also feel that full joy, and bring her into new acts of love, new acts of kindness. Think about what she would do. And one thing that is super helpful, or has been super helpful for me, and maybe it is for you, it's called the empty seat practice, or I always call it like bring a friend. So if you are on a plane and think about like she's sitting next to you, or say that you're driving down the road. Driving is always nice because yes, your eyes are on the prize, right? You're watching where you're driving, but sometimes your mind can wander. And if you're alone, that's a really great time to chat, have a chat with her. So think about her sitting next to you in the seat. What would you tell her? Would you chat about what you had for dinner? Or would you tell her that you'd be like, yeah, Brody pooped his pants 3 times this week. How did you do all of that laundry when we were growing up? Or maybe you could talk about something funny that you did with your husband, or your spouse, or something fun you did with your girlfriends, and just have that chat with her. Be like, "Hey mom, you want to go out for ice cream? Did you want do you want rainbow sprinkles or chocolate sprinkles this time? Oh, yeah, you actually prefer the hot fudge? I knew it. You always loved those hot fudge. And if there's a crackle topping, yes, I know that you loved that most." And so it just feels like, just take a minute and chat with her. The seat might be empty, but she's with you and she'll show up for you. And that's all part of the grieving process. So think about that. How can you have a chat with her today? I am thinking of you, and thinking about the fun conversations you'll have with your mom. I'd love to hear, what's the first thing you want to tell her? Hey mom, I had a really great acai bowl for breakfast. I put coconut on it, shredded coconut, and thought of you because you always liked pina coladas, you know, or something like that. So, um, one thing that, every time, talking about pina coladas, my husband loves pina coladas. So every time we go on vacation, he gets one. And one thing that my mom was all about living life to the fullest. And she said, life is too short not to have an umbrella in your drink. So I ordered umbrellas, and it's so much fun to have them. And I'm wanting to bring them on the trip with me, and then bring them to the girls that I'm traveling with, to just share with them, hey, life's too short not to have an umbrella in your drink. So with that, I hope that I'm with you, and let's just go have a really fun chat with our moms. She's with you, and make it joyful, right? Maybe she didn't drink any alcohol, but she could still have a fun umbrella in her drink. Or what's something fun that she would have done with you, or would have said. It's okay to miss your mom. I miss my mom too. And she's there. She loves you. And I'm thinking of you. I'm sending love. I'm sending hugs, and go have that conversation. It's okay to live fully, and it's okay to love and miss her. Wherever you are in your grief journey, you're right where you need to be. So, sending love. Enjoy your week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Giving Grief Grace. It would be such a gift if you could share this episode with someone and brighten their day. You never know what will happen. Subscribe to get a weekly dose of positivity, and while you're at it, please leave a review. May you be kind to yourself in the week ahead and give yourself grace. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.